and that's the difference.
And you are really convinced that in a decade, drivers are going to trust vehicle autonomy?
It will take a very, very long time until we can be fully autonomous. I don't think that anyone really thinks that in 10 years we can be fully autonomous. But semi-autonomous, highway, basic stuff could happen. There are interesting applications like parking.
Yeah, right.
Why should you search for parking? Why should you go to the mall and wait, go in circles 10 minutes to find a parking?
Give the car to park alone.
Yeah. And then call the car in the mobile phone, and the car will come back to you. If there are no people on the street, it's much simpler. If you have like a parking arrangement, and parkers like this.
Right. So that's the way you are seeing the development of such a traffic, of such a interconnection between vehicles.
Yeah.
That means application like going to the parking or driving in an autonomous way, or
but you need to go to the parking. It's like a convenience application, but safety application is, for example, today you have motorcycles and you have a lot of accidents with motorcycles because you don't really see them. They drive fast. If they have V2V technology, and this is really a main target because the fatality rate is very high, then you can detect the motorcycle.
Right. I'm just thinking about, two cars going to talk together, vehicle connectivity. But let's say that these two cars are belonging to a very wide, worldwide network and clouds and so on. Are there any interconnection between the cars and somewhere where we are putting all these information in order to analyze it and so on? Let's say a crash, okay? I would like to see the history of the crash. So the information are somewhere.
But this is a different technology. This is like a black box in a plane. So there are going to be information applications like this in the car, but it's not related to V2V. V2V, if you have a crash, then V2V failed. You need to make sure that you don't have a crash.
It's depends which crash is it. Yeah. Okay. Right. How you see the barriers now about the evolution of V2V? What are the main barriers? The driver, the car manufacturers, the market. What are
if we looked at Europe, the barrier was the chicken and the egg, because if you need to have infrastructure, so why should someone pay for infrastructure before there's a driver have the car? And why would someone buy the equipment to the car if there's no infrastructure? So that was solved in Europe. There's an agreement to build infrastructure and an agreement to install in cars. In US, they had the same problem exactly. And in US, they started by saying, okay, let's start with infrastructure and finance it somehow, and then go with the cars in the market. And then they realized that it can't happen in US. It's too complex because of the government system. So they decided to go to regulation. And once there's regulation, the market is solved, because every new vehicle must have this technology. So you don't really need to care about business case. I mean, the car maker must do it. Of course, that if it will be too expensive, it will not happen. So it must be cost optimized, especially if you go to a large market like US. So it's going to be, it must be cheap technology or cheap add-on. But once there is a law, then it's going to happen.
Right. Give me some words about your company, Autotalk.
Autotalk was founded in 2008. I think back then nobody knew what's V2V. But we knew that when we founded the company, people say, okay, is it going to happen? And then after 2 years, okay, so people say, okay, it's going to happen. And then the question is, when it's going to happen? So I think now today, nobody asks this anymore. Everyone understands that it's going to happen, and we know when it's going to happen. And since we started so early, and actually bet on this market, we are in the first on the market. We have a lot of experience with car makers, and so our solution, which is chipset, that from the infrastructure for the communication. We are the underlying technology for communication. It is the first in the market and the most sophisticated and most mature. And we go with that to the tier ones and the OEM, and in order for them to embed our technology in the vehicles.
And you see that those manufacturers' car are open to this type of
Yes, I think that, first of all, we see today our activities are really accelerating. So that every month is more and more active than the previous month, and the entire market is ramping up now, and for more and more car makers and more suppliers that understand that they must have this technology. Certainly, if there's going to be law in US, so everyone must have technology. You can't have a single car maker that don't have this technology.
Right.
And we are happy to serve them. It's a lot of work for us, but our solution is ready, is mature, so we can actually deliver it and provide it to customers.
Very good. We are organizing a congress on 11th of February next year. What are the advantages of such congress you are playing?
I think that it's very interesting to people to learn from first hand what are the applications in more depth, what applications are more successful in some geographies, what are the technology hurdles and how you solve them, because it's a very complex technology, because it involves many aspects. It's not just communication.
Right.
It's deeply embedded in the cars, and in the car you need to talk with many other elements.
Many aspects.
So
Yeah,
it's a very, once you get something in the car, it's very complex. So all of these concerns are things that I think interest the people to understand how this technology is actually is going to be built and how it's going to affect their life.
It means such congress can be very, very interesting to a large population.
I think it is interesting for you from the user perspective, if you're from the government and want to understand how to activate this technology. If you are even a driver and want to understand how it's going to affect your life, from the technology point of view, if you think about going to the automotive market, understanding what are the considerations, because it's such a wide technology that covers so many aspects. So I think everyone could find something that's interesting.
Very nice, yeah. You are a member of the steering committee. How the market is answering to this type of congress?
I mean, when we go to congress like this, usually a board and receive a lot of interesting information, to get diverse information from many companies and many parties from all levels of the food chain. And we always learn from congresses like this.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, it was very, very interesting. And we will see this congress coming and with
I'm sure it will
many
be
people.
successful and interesting. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.